Hi, my name is Alexandria Pastana, and my classmates are Laura and Max, and we are presenting on the Baltimore Police Department retention and recruitment strategies. Thanks.
Hey guys, so I'm going to be going over the recruiting challenges and retention. So my name is Maxim Orzechowski. So again, Baltimore's having an issue with their recruitment and getting police officers onto their force. So one of the big things is Baltimore's missing the mark when it comes to their police stations, crime fighting technology, and their patrol vehicles. So again, they got a bunch of stuff that's out of date, and so again, they're working on implementing these new changes. Uh, redesigning their stations, getting more crime fighting tools and technologies that they don't normally have, as well as getting their officers new patrol vehicles. Baltimore's also lost support from their own public officials, and they feel attacked. Again, with these new laws that they're implementing, they're getting strict punishment for use of force. Consent decree is having playing a big role in this. So again, as I was watching a YouTube video about this, the officers are sometimes fearing to not use force in worry as they worry that they're going to get in big trouble for it as well. Officers feel vulnerable due to new policies put in place by the department. Marilyn Mosby is known for heavily pursuing criminal charges against officers using use of force and lethal force as well. So again, they're just feeling like they don't have that support from the community, as well as their own department, and they're feeling unsafe and are not wanting to stay in the Baltimore Police Department because of this. Um, and like I said, this also stems from the fact that they have a consent decree and officers are not happy about it either. So just some key facts. So the Baltimore consent decree, it goes over limits on the use of force, enhanced civil oversight and transparency, and more de-escalation training, which doesn't seem bad, but again, as they're getting attacked for using uses of force, they're very limited on what they can do, which means the officers are feeling unsafe. So the projected or the estimated budget for the 2024 is actually going to be 594.5 million. Baltimore actually has one of the higher budgets when it comes to policing versus how much actual money they or how much officers they have on the force. So current number of officers in Baltimore Police Department as of right now is 2,646. This number was pulled from a Police Data Initiative website. We have it in the links on our last page. The department needs to have at least 3,000 based off the amount of people that are actually in the Baltimore area. So that way they have a good ratio of cops to citizens. So based on a report by Rebecca Pryor from Fox News, Baltimore is actually short by 500 officers. So again, these are all playing little roles into that fact. Another thing is and showing that Baltimore has the most diverse police force in the region per Washington the Washington Post. So police officers they have 45% white and 40% African American. But again, it's showing that the police force is diverse, but compared to the community, it definitely is not balanced. So the citizens in Baltimore, 28% white and 63% African American. So again, the police force is balanced, but the citizens, again, it's leaning more towards the African American side of things.
Um, Hi, I'll be presenting on the key stakeholders in this issue, discussing our recruitment and retention strategies and how they are carried out and portrayed by these stakeholders. So, stakeholders of the criminal justice system can be divided into two categories, either internal or external. When we think of the criminal justice system, we usually think of the internal stakeholders, which are the law enforcement officers, the lawyers, and anything that works within the criminal justice system, like the legislators, the first three that I have on the left side of this screen. So internal stakeholders come from within the criminal justice system and are active participants. So external stakeholders, the opposite ends of the spectrum, are those that are often not lumped in with the criminal justice system. So external stakeholders generally focus on the negative effects of the criminal justice system, and it can be really difficult for them. I'm going to follow your script. Hello again. I'll be discussing the key stakeholders in this issue. So stakeholders of the criminal justice system can be divided into two separate categories, either external or internal. Internal stakeholders are the criminal justice system, while external stakeholders are those who have been affected by the system. So internal stakeholders are the ones we usually think of when we think of the criminal justice system. Those include your law enforcement officers, your lawyers, and your legislators. While external stakeholders generally focus on the negative effects of the criminal justice system, they're usually the people that have been affected. So this will be the media, politicians, and victims' families, or those that have been previously incarcerated. So to discuss these key stakeholders and how they are portraying the issues reflected in the previous slides, law enforcement officers in the Baltimore Police Department feel unsafe in their environment, and this can likely make them feel undervalued. So the officers probably feel undervalued in the criminal justice system, and they might also feel helpless because even though they are one of the largest parts of the system, they are essentially doing the grunt work of the entire system, leaving them overworked, tired, and like they feel like they can't make a change. And then lawyers, the second people I have on this list, probably don't have much, they don't have influence in changing the way the criminal justice system works. They are actors in it and they are kind of forced to follow along. So they don't really have any issues currently affecting them that are affecting the Baltimore Police Department, but because they work so closely with the department, they might feel sympathetic towards them. And then legislatures are really important in this issue so they can pass laws that might be able to help allocate funding to make our law enforcement officers feel safer. They can use their connections within each other to create legislation that can improve this department's morale and possibly increase their effectiveness. So the external stakeholders here have the real ideas to make change. So if we remove the law enforcement officers from their uniforms and put them as people, and they are part of the media, they can represent themselves there. The media is an outlet for them to share their thoughts and their feelings and get more public attention. So if we use the media as a way to help portray these issues, it might make the public feel more sympathetic towards police officers and help them decrease feelings of unsafety and their beat. And then victims and families are less likely to want to help police officers simply because they are either have been incarcerated, have family that have been incarcerated, or may just have negative feelings towards the criminal justice system while they were going through it. It is important for them to share their side of the story, and they must feel included in this conversation. The police officers might feel unsafe and they might have lesser resources, which will ultimately be negative affecting how effective the police are. Victims and families might be more scared because they've already been victimized once. And now that they're going to have another interaction with the police, it can be terrifying for them. So I wanted them to be kept in mind while we work to make new decisions for the Baltimore Police Department, but they are only an external stakeholder. They do value the criminal justice system because it may have helped them incarcerate someone, but they also might be negatively affected. So I think we need to keep that in mind while moving forward. Thank you.
Hi, my name is Laura Ackland, and I did the portion of opportunities on retaining, recruiting, and retaining police officers. So, like many other police departments, Baltimore struggles to hire and retain officers. The excess budget that they have can be utilized to develop new approaches to training officers that can make them feel seen and heard in their department more. There are also mentor programs that they can do for new recruits, and it can also give veteran officers the opportunity to work with these new recruits and give them a new sense for the love of their job. Lastly, if they created unique social media outlets for new recruits. It could be a fun, unique way to recruit new staff and remind veteran officers why they do what they love. And for the next section, we did best practices for recruiting and retaining officers. So, in order to ensure that there is retention of officers, the department should assess how new hires will affect current staff. And this could be, workload, schedule changes, or anything that's budgetary. And you want to make sure that your current staff, as well as new recruits, would still be satisfied with their job and any changes that can occur. Another key component with retention is incentive for new hires. And this could be something such as desirable work schedules. So a common one would be 4-10s, which is where officers could work 4 days for 10-hour shifts. So they get that, Monday or Friday off. And that's something you would want to make available to new recruits as well as veteran officers if it's something that they don't already have. So staff is more likely to come and stay if they can work with things that they want, like flexible work schedules and stuff like that. Thank you.